Welcome back. In our last class, we got introduced with the concept of profit and loss. In today's class, we will be solving a few numericals based on that concept. So let's get started. The first problem sum says that Ravi bought two boxes for rupees 1300. He sold one box at a profit of 20% and the other box at a loss of 12%. If the selling price SP of both the boxes is same, then find the cost price means CP of each box. So what are the information that are given to us is the total cost price of two boxes, which is 1300. Then he sold one box at a profit of 20% and the other box at a loss of 12%. And the fourth information that is given is the selling price of both the boxes is same. So what is unknown here is, or what we have to find here is, we have to find cost price of each box. So the total cost price of two boxes is rupees 1300, which is given, and we don't know the cost price of each box. So what we will do here is we will assume that the cost price of one box or first box is X. That means cost price of the other box will be 1300 minus X, because 1300 is the total cost price of both the boxes. Now we will proceed one by one for each box. So the first box Ravi sold at a profit of 20%. So 20% profit means, what we understand is, if the cost price of the box is 100, then the selling price of that box will be 20 more on that 100. So it will be 100 plus 20, 120 or 120 rupees. So selling price of that box will be 120. Now if the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be definitely, it will be 120 divided by 100. And if the cost price is X, which we have assumed, which is unknown, then the selling price will be 120 multiplied by X divided by 100. So it will be 12X divided by 100, or we can simplify further. Now the second box, Ravi sold that box at a loss of 12%. That means if the cost price of that box is 100, since he has sold at loss, so it will be, the selling price will be less than the cost price. So how much will be the selling price then? It will be 12 less than 100. So it will be 100 minus 12, or 88, or rupees 88. Now if the cost price of that box is 1, then the selling price will be 88 divided by 100. And if the cost price, what we have assumed here, and that was 1300 minus X as per the cost price of the first box, so the selling price will be 88 multiplied by 1300 minus X divided by 100. Now as per the problem statement, the information that was given is the selling price of both the boxes is same. That means here we can say that 12X divided by 10, this is the selling price of the first box, that will be equal to 88 multiplied by 1300 minus X divided by 100. That is the selling price of the second box. Now we have to simplify further, and then we have to find the value of X. So it will be 120X, and that will be equal to 114400. If we multiply 88 by 1300, then this will be the value. Then minus 88X. So what we can do further is 120X and minus 88X we can take on the other side, so it will be plus, and that will be equal to 114400. Now if we simplify further, then it will be, X will be on the other side, we have 114400 divided by 120 plus 88, that will be 208, and this value will be nothing but 550, and the currency was rupees. And what was X? X was the cost price of the first box. That means cost price of the first box is rupees 550, and cost price of the second box will be what? It will be 1300 minus 550, so it will be 750 then. So this is how we simplify this type of problem. Now the next problem sum says that Mr. A sold his cycle to Mr. B at a loss of 28%. So the cost price of that cycle is not known, but Mr. A sold that to Mr. B at a loss of 28%. Fine. Now Mr. B spent rupees 168 on its repairs and sold the same in that cycle to Mr. C for rupees 3591 and makes a profit of 12.5%. Find the CP of the cycle for Mr. A. So first Mr. A sold that cycle to Mr. B and at a loss of 28%. Mr. B spent some money and that is 168, and then further he sold that to Mr. C for rupees 3591 and makes a profit 12.5%. So what we have to do is the unknown parameter, which is the cost price of that cycle for Mr. A, that we will assume as X, and then we will proceed further. Now Mr. A sold to Mr. B at a loss of 20%. So if the cost price of that cycle is rupees 100, then the selling price will be less 28 less than 100. So it will be 100 minus 28, or it will be rupees 72. Now if the cost price of that cycle is 1, then the selling price will be 72 divided by 100. And if the cost price of that cycle is X, that we have assumed because that is not known, and that's what we have to find. So it will be 72x divided by 100. Now what happens? After B purchased that cycle from A, he spends rupees 168 on its repairs. That means the effective cost price for B, for Mr. B, it increases. And how much now is the effective cost price? It will be, initially he purchased that cycle at this price 72x divided by 100, and then he spent 168 extra on that. So the effective cost price now will be for Mr. B, it will be this much rupees. Now next what happened was Mr. B sold that the same cycle to Mr. C at rupees 35191 and he made a profit of 12.5%. So this is the cost price for Mr. B. So now the cost price of the same cycle, if it is 100, then selling price will be what? He made a profit, and he made a profit of 12.5%. So if the cost price is 100, then the selling price will be 12.5 more than 100. So with respect to 100, now the selling price of that cycle will be 112.5 rupees. Now if the cost price of that cycle for Mr. B, definitely if it is 1, then the selling price will be 112.5 divided by 100. Now what is the cost price of the cycle for Mr. B? This is this much. So when that will be the cost price, means 72x divided by 100 plus 168, if this is the cost price, then selling price will be 112.5, then divided by 100 it was, and then multiplied by 72x divided by 100 plus 168. So this is the selling price of that cycle for Mr. B, and this is the cost price for Mr. C. And Mr. B sold this cycle to Mr. C for rupees 3591. So rupees 3591 is the selling price for Mr. B. That means this amount and this amount are same. So we can write, now this is a linear equation of this variable x. So if we simplify further, then we can easily find the value of x, and that will be finally 3402 divided by 0.81, and that value finally will come as 4200 or rupees 4200. And what was x? X was the cost price of the cycle for Mr. A, and that's what we wanted to find. So the cost price of the cycle for Mr. A is 4200 rupees. Now the next problem sum says that a briefcase costing rupees 800 is being sold at a loss of 8%. If the price is further reduced by 5%, then find its selling price. Selling price means the final selling price, or SP. So here the briefcase costing rupees 800, that information is given. That means the initial cost price of that briefcase is given, and that is rupees 800. So cost price of the briefcase is rupees 800, and initially it is sold at a loss of 8%. So at a loss of 8% means if the cost price is 100, then loss will be with respect to 100. The loss is 8%, so the selling price will be 8 less than 100. That means 92. So when the cost price is 100, the selling price will be 92. 100 minus 8 because loss or rupees 92. If the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be 92 divided by 100. And if the cost price is 800, which is given for this briefcase or for this problem sum, then the selling price will be 92 multiplied by 800 divided by 100. So finally it will be 92 multiplied by 8, this much rupees. And now after selling for one round, then the price is further reduced by 5% of that briefcase. So price is further reduced by 5% means now the price is 92 multiplied by 8, whatever is the amount is, and that price is further reduced by 5%. So if the price is 100, then next price will be 5 less than 100. So if that amount is now is assumed as the cost price, then the selling price will be what? It is reduced by 5%, so it will be 95 rupees with respect to 100. So if the cost price is 1, now the selling price will be 95 divided by 100, means the new price after reduction. And if the cost price is 92 multiplied by 8, so when it was sold for the first time at a loss of 8%, this was the selling price, 92 multiplied by 8, and at the second round this will be taken as the cost price. So the selling price will be then 95 divided by 100 and multiplied by 92 multiplied by 8, and if we simplify further, then it will be 699.20, this much rupees. So after further reduction by 5%, the final selling price of that briefcase will be 699.20 rupees. So this is how we simplify this type of problem, and this looks easier compared to the other two that we have solved just now. Now the next problem sum says that a man sells an article at a profit of 25%. If he had bought it at 20% less and sold it for rupees 36.75 less, he would have gained 30%. Find the CP of the article. So CP of the article is not known. So what we will do is we will assume that the CP of the article is X, and based on that we will proceed further. Now initially the man sells that article at a profit of 25%. So profit of 25% means if the CP of that article is 100, then selling price will be, if cost price is 100, then selling price will be 25 more with respect to 100, so it will be rupees 125. Now if the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be 125 divided by 100. If the cost price is X, that we have assumed that was unknown, so with respect to that the selling price will be 125x divided by 100. Now what happens if the problem statement says if he had bought it at 20% less? Bought it at 20% less means we have the cost price will be will be calculated with respect to that. So if he had bought it at 20% less, that means if the cost price is 100, then the new cost price will be 20% less. So per century 20 less. So if the cost price is 100, then the new cost price will be rupees 80. If the cost price was 1, then the new cost price will be 80 divided by 100. And if the cost price was X, that's what we assumed, so the new cost price will be 80x divided by 100. So this is the new cost price. So if he bought it at 20% less and sold it for rupees 36.75 less, then he would have gained 30%. So if this is the cost price, new cost price, and if the new selling price is 36.75 less, then the gain would have been 30%. So that means what we will do is the cost price, if the cost price is 100, and since finally he is gaining 30%, so if the cost price is 100, the selling price will be how much? Selling price will be 30 more than 100, so it will be 130 or 130 rupees. Now if the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be 130 divided by 100. So if the cost price is how much? The new cost price is 80x divided by 100. So if the new cost price is 80x divided by 100, then the new selling price will be 130 divided by 100 and then 80x divided by 100. This is the new selling price. And as per the problem statement, the new selling price is 36.75 less than what? Less than the earlier selling price. So we can say that the earlier selling price was what? Earlier in the first stage, the selling price was 125x divided by 100, and the new selling price is what? The new selling price is 130 divided by 100, and here 80x divided by 100. This is the new selling price, and the difference of these two selling prices is how much? It is 36.75. The second selling price is less than the first selling price, and that's what the second selling price we have subtracted from the first one, and this amount is 36.75. Now this is again a linear equation of this unknown variable x, and if we simplify further, that we already know because I have already taken classes on that. So if we further simplify, then the final value of x will come as 36,3675 divided by 21, and this value will be nothing but 175 rupees. Here this 0 and this 0 we can cancel each other, we can divide by 10, this 0 will cancel each other. 100 we have in both the terms in the denominator, so the LCM will be 100 and that will be multiplied by this 36.75, so it will become 3675, and from here 125 minus this will become 104, 13 multiplied by 8. So finally 125 minus 104 will be 21, so that will be divided by. Now the next problem sum says that a man buys a land for rupees 30,000. He sells one third at a loss of 20%, two-fifths at a gain of 25%, and at what price must he sell the remaining land to make an overall profit of 10%? So the cost price of the total land is rupees 30,000. That's what it is given in the first line. Now one third of that land is sold at a loss of 20%. So first we will calculate for that part. So cost price of the first part will be then how much? It will be one third. So 30,000 is the cost price of the total land, and first part is one third of the total land. So it will be 30,000 of one third of that 30,000. So it will be rupees 10,000. This is the cost price of the first part. Now he sells that first part of that land, which is one third, at a loss of 20%. So selling price we can easily calculate from here, from this information. So when the cost price is 100, then the selling price will be, since loss, 20% loss, so it will be 20 less than 100. So it will be rupees 80. I have not written the currency here. Now when the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be 80 divided by 100, and when the cost price is 10,000, then the selling price will be 80 multiplied by 10,000 divided by 100. So two zeros will be cancel each other, so this will become 8, and then we have 1 2 3 zeros, so 8,000. This 8,000 definitely rupees. This is the selling price of the first part, which is one third of the total land. Now what it says, the problem sum says that 2/5 of that total land is sold at a gain of 25%. So we will calculate for that part now. So second part is the 2/5 of the total land. So the cost price will be 30,000 is the total cost price, and 2/5. So 2/5 of that 30,000. So it will be 12,000 rupees, and that is the cost price of the second part of the land, and that is sold at a gain of 25%. So when the cost price is 100, again the same rule, then the selling price will be this time gain 25% gain, so it will be 25 more than 100, so 125 rupees. If the cost price is 1, then the selling price will be 125 divided by 100, and if the cost price is 12,000, then the selling price will be 125 multiplied by 12,000 divided by 100. So two zeros will cancel each other, and the selling price of the second part of the land will be then 15,000 rupees as per this calculation. Now the remaining part of that land will be sold at what price, so that the overall profit will be 10%. So we can assume the price of that third part of the land as X, and then accordingly we can proceed, or we can calculate from the overall profit. That's what we'll be doing now. So overall profit is 10%. That means if the cost price is 10, then the selling price will be profit. So 10 more than 100, so it will be 110 rupees. If the cost price is 1, then the selling price is 110 divided by 100. This calculations is based on the overall land. So if the cost price of the overall land on the total land is 30,000, that's what we know. So the selling price then will be 110 multiplied by 30,000 and divided by 100. So it will be two zeros will cancel each other, and if we calculate this 110 multiplied by 300, then it will be 33,000 and this much rupees. This is the selling price of the total land, and we have already calculated the selling price of the first part of the land, which was 1/3 of the total land, and the selling price of the second part of the land, which was 2/5 of the total land. And we don't know how much is the selling price of the third part. But if since the selling price of the total land is known, so we can easily find how. So the selling price of the third part of the land or third piece of the land will be then how much? It will be total selling price is 33,000. Selling price of the first part is 8,000, so it will be subtracted, and the selling price of the second part is 15,000, so it will be again subtracted, and that will be the selling price of the third piece of the land. And that, if we calculate, then that value will be 10,000. 10,000 definitely rupees. So this is how we simplify this type of problem sum based on profit and loss. In our next class, we will be solving a few more numericals based on profit and loss. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.